Hello, everyone. Welcome and thank you for joining us for tonight's Transcendence tier matchup between the Decapitators and the Devil Dukes. I will be your analyst, Bethcon2. Joining me is Dexatron, and because of the technical concerns, we did have to miss the first map, but Devil Dukes are currently up 1-0 over the Decapitators. Should be a really fun night. Both of these teams play some pretty high-level Overwatch, so pretty excited to see what they do. How are you doing tonight, Dex?
Doing good. Hopefully third time's the charm here with this one. But those are probably now famous last words. But, I mean, we already missed one map. Devil Dukes took that one in 2 points. Never really seemed like the Decapitators were able to get anything going there from what we saw. We only saw about the last, minute and a half of the second point there. And it was just mostly Devil Dukes that entire way. While the Decapitators did take the point, it was only one fight. And then the Devil Dukes retook the point from them and eventually did end up ending the map there, going up 1-0 in this best-of-7 series.
This, however, isn't an unfamiliar position for the Decapitators to be in. So both of these teams made it through the champ bracket undefeated until they met up, made it through the upper bracket undefeated until they met up in the last game before the champ bracket. During that game, Decapitators ended up winning at 3-2, but not before going down 2-0 to start the match off. So have proven in the past that against these Devil Dukes, they are able to make a comeback even when they're down a map or two. So certainly don't count them out of the fight just yet.
Yeah, and that was I casted the Decapitators game last week against the Guangzhou Gangsters, and that third map was very, very important for them. It was a map before halftime. I essentially said they needed to win that map. They want to have any hope going into the rest of that series. They won the map, reverse swept the Gangsters after that. Never really seemed like the Gangsters, after they lost that first map, were able to get any kind of footing back in it, because it seemed like the Decapitators really found just something that the Gangsters just struggled with that entire time, and they never let off the gas.
Yeah, and honestly, with the quality of players on the Decapitators team, it comes as no surprise. Decapitators have a couple of all-stars on their team, including Smugs on support and Andy on tank, not to rule out Cry, who was the Discord tier MVP last season, on support as well. Devil Dukes, however, are no slouch either. They do have a DPS all-star of their own in GLD on their team, so certainly keep an eye on him as we go into Eichenwald here.
Yeah, Decapitators picked this map. They lost the first one. I don't think this was the map they picked last week. I think they picked Kings Row last week against the Guangzhou Gangsters for their hybrid map. So this is going to be a little bit of an interesting pick, in my opinion, just because I don't think I've seen the Decapitators play on Eichenwald before.
Yeah, maybe they're just wanting to give Devil Dukes a little bit of a different look. Aura and Cry on that Farmercy combo could prove pretty deadly, especially into what the Devil Dukes are running. Unless the Devil Dukes are able to hit some pretty tough skill shots onto that Pharah, they could go fairly uncontested as Devil Dukes come into their attack.
Yeah, and it does seem like the Decapitators are just going to let the Devil Dukes walk straight through that choke point right there. Kind of want to fight them in this open area right here around the point, but this clock tower is going to be a huge source of cover for the Devil Dukes at the moment, as they're just trying to find a pick, but Aura is able to find the first pick there onto BTD, and now it does kind of force the Devil Dukes to fall back here to try to regroup, as they are already down one DPS and almost down another there, but they are able to get healed back up.
That was very well played by the Decapitators. They allowed Devil Dukes to push in, but by allowing them to push in, they allowed them to take open space where the Pharah could just rain damage in from above. Devil Dukes are going to want to take this a little bit more quickly to prevent the Pharah from getting much value, but Aura is already 70% to their ultimate coming into second fight.
Yeah, as we hop on to Sammy here on this hog, but PKD able to find GLD there for the Decapitators. Pyro finds Honey Bunny, and that honestly just starts everything here for the Decapitators again. And this should force another fallback here from the Devil Dukes. PDK able to find Sammy there as well, as we do see Brent falling back very low on health. If Aura might have been able to fire one more rocket towards that spawn, might have been able just to stagger them a little bit. But they are sitting on Barrage here right now, and really GLD on that Soldier need to try to be getting this Pharah out of the sky at the moment.
Certainly. GLD has been struggling a little bit, not able to land a lot of shots on the Pharah or on basically anybody, only 50% of their ult at this point. But while we weren't paying attention, Devil Dukes did manage to cap a third of that point. Decapitators still firmly in control of the entire map, but Devil Dukes could win a war of attrition here.
Yeah, here comes the Flux out from PDK. The Barrage right out after from Aura finds two, make it three right after it. Already 4 of the 5 members of the Dukes out, but a nice kind of ultimate combo there by the Decapitators, finds 4 of the 5 and does force the Dukes to fall back. However, the Dukes are about to come into this next engagement with 4 ultimates ready here if Sammy can get that their ultimate up and ready.
The Decapitators do have 3 of their own coming online. Kitsune Rush can negate a lot of things that the Devil Dukes could throw, but it looks like Devil Dukes are looking to pop their Kitsune Rush early.
Yeah, I believe both Kitsune Rushes are actually out. Cry also does pop their Valkyrie here. Pyro finds GLD to start everything off here. Sammy does pop the whole hog here, trying to get everyone off that point. They have capped the second tick before we see the Decapitators get back on to contest. BTD here is trying just to pepper anyone down here. They're going after Aura without that far, or without that mercy on them, but they are able to take out Honey Bunny. They're already 1 support down for the Devil Dukes. Brent, incredibly low, gets taken out there by Pyro. Now we see the rest of the Devil Dukes fall as well, but 75% on that point right now. A little bit over a minute to go. They do have a lot going. They do have a decent amount of time here to try to cap that last 33% here due to the Devil Dukes.
Decapitators are doing a really good job of allowing themselves to use point time as a resource. They're not forcing point when they don't have to. They're playing off of it and allowing Devil Dukes to tick it up a little bit. Devil Dukes does have a couple of very key ultimates coming into this fight. GLD almost to their overclock, which could be huge, especially against Aura's Pharah, who also has their barrage up.
BTD though is sitting on this pulse bomb right now. They are looking for smugs here, but Aura pops their barrage again. It finds 2. The cleanse gets them out of that hook there. As we start to see the Devil Dukes kind of fall back, PDK is able to find Brent. They do know that BTD is somewhere in that back line, but they are able to take care of Sammy. So not just BTD versus the entirety of Decapitators at the moment. Aura just desperately trying to find out where they are right now, but only 20 seconds left to go. Devil Dukes need something to go their favor right now. Devil
Dukes do have the advantage in turn of ults. Overclock and Pulse Bomb can put in a lot of damage. Decap's really only coming up on a Pulse Bomb of their own as well as a Valk. Last fight here, 6 seconds to go.
Yeah, Pyro has recognized that where BTD is. They do force them back to the point as they continue to get some more percentage. Actually, they improve on their lead right now with PDK. First one to find a kill, but GLD pops their overclock, finds one, finds Aura right after. That's exactly what the Devil Dukes need here. They're looking for a 3rd kill. The stick is able to find it. They're on the PDK from BTD. GLD finds Cry as well, and they're going to be able to cap the first point off of that amazing team fight right there.
Really solid work casting 3 names that are just 3 initials. That's a tough fight to call. But honestly, it's all good. Honestly, very good fight by the Devil Dukes. They were able to pull it out when they needed to get the cap off after kind of just winning a war of inches in the first couple of rounds. BTD does take out Pyro here, but Devil Dukes have made a couple of interesting swaps. They're over onto the Doomfist now, whereas Decap has swapped over off of the Pharah and onto an Ashe for a little more hit scan pressure.
Yeah, you know, I was going to say, I wonder if Sammy really made that swap to just try to get back to touch point, but I believe they made the swap after they had capped the point, so looks like they want to try to run the Doomfist here on the second point, but Aura immediately shuts them down early. However, they are continuing to push the cart right now. The Kitsune Rush from the Decapitators is out on that cart right now, as they are desperately trying to find anyone. PDK is able to find Honey Bunny there, and essentially now the rest of the Devil Dukes kind of scattered, just trying to get back to safety. However, Brent just decides to jump off the map and regroup with their team. That way, BTD is able to find Cry there, so that does give the Devil Dukes a little bit of an advantage here, just without the mercy there for the Decapitators, if the Dukes want to take this fight here fast.
Which they likely will. They will have 5 to Decapitators 4. It looks like Decaps may be backing up and given a little bit of space, waiting for their mercy to respawn.
Yeah, here we see the Sigma for the Decapitators on that high ground, just trying to control it a little bit. They are allowing the Devil Dukes here to push it just a little bit. No big team fight has broken out yet, but 3 members of the Decapitators do know that that Tracer of BT I'm just gonna call him Boss. Boss is on that staircase over there, but here comes the Flux from PDK, able to get one in and not able to confirm a kill from it just yet. Now they're going after Boss. They're not able to find the new recall. However, the Devil Dukes continue to push. Honey Bunny, though, does find the Kariko of Smugs there in that duel, and they find Aura. This is a great start for them right now as they just continue to push this one. PDK, though, able to find Boss. GLD finds Cry. Honey Bunny continues just landing headshots here on the Kariko. Brent's able to res Boss here, and now the Devil Dukes looking to finish out point 2 here strong.
Massive 3K by Honey Bunny there, just absolutely able to secure the fight for the Devil Dukes. Decapitators may be able to get a last touch here if they want it, but they are... Oh, Devil Dukes step off the cart for a second. That may give the Decaps the advantage that they need.
I mean, we did see Bob come out there to try to contest the card for a brief moment. The overclock now coming out from Aura. PDK is able to find Boss, but Aura able to find GLD. Now the res comes out to get Aura back in this one. PDK going in, finds Sammy right now. This card still not capped. It is in overtime. Brent trying to get the res off. They're not going to be able to. Look at that kill feed. Light up in the Decapitators blue as they do not allow the Devil Dukes to get to that second point.
Yeah, definitely have to hand it to the supports on both sides for these. We definitely saw both of the Kirikos popping off in the kill feed and even saw Cry on Mercy in the kill feed for the last one. Lots of healing output, lots of utility, and lots of damage coming in from both sides there. Overall, really good push by the Devil Dukes. From a point that looked like it was going to be lost without even capping point A to push it all the way to the end of point B without and being able to take that much space is a huge advantage for them. Eichenwald point A is a fairly good point for defenders. Devil Dukes can definitely play to their strengths here if they keep with the same sort of tempo and pick potential that we saw them play the attack side on. As far as the decaps go, I wouldn't be surprised to see them roll out on the Pharah again here. But apparently they're going to surprise me and not roll out on the Pharah again here, at least on initial pick. So neither team do have that sort of aerial pressure that we do see a lot of the times on Eichenwald, but Decapitators do have the Sigma as opposed to the Devil Duke's Roadhog. Roadhog's really good at disruption with the hook, getting a lot of picks and things like that. Never mind, they changed their mind, so Aura is over to the Pharah now. So it looks like Decaps are going to be looking to play a little bit more of a slow, pokey comp similar to what they were doing on defense.
And I feel like what the Decapitators are coming out on here is really what they should be doing here. They honestly dominated that first point on defense for about everything up until that last minute on this Pharah, but once the Devil Dukes were able to take care of the Pharah, everything pretty much just went down after that. So right now, if I'm the Devil Dukes, try to get rid of Aura or Cry. Just try to get one of the Pharmacy combo out of the air, and you're going to be able to try to just win team fight after team fight going into it here.
Definitely, especially with this giant clock tower in the middle. It just allows Pharahs to have so much natural cover, allowing them to take some damage, get some damage, and then retreat for healing. So very strong map for them, but we do see that the fight is starting. Sammy already having to use his take breather.
Yeah, Sammy already getting bouldered back there. GLD already at 50% right now, but that Mercy of Brent going to keep him up and running in this fight here. Each team kind of respecting space right now, but the Decapitators doing a good job forcing the Devil Dukes back. But now we see Sammy take a little bit of a misstep there, just poke their head a little bit too far, able to get back and hit that rebreather, but Aura able to find GLD here, and now this could be the go button for the Decapitators, but Brent able to res them. However, Sammy falls right after that. No res for the Hogman there. GLD falls as well, so does Honey Bunny, and this looks like it should be a quick .1 for the Decapitators.
Yeah, Aura's Pharah there is just applying so much damage and so much map pressure to the rest of the team that Devil Dukes just haven't had an answer for. It looks like they are trying to switch over to the D.Va, likely to use that defense nature more often to cancel some of the incoming damage from the Pharah. But that said, Aura is going back to the Ashe that we saw them play on the second point on defense.
Again, I'm kind of surprised by this. This pharmacy or that Pharah has been working very well for them, but I understand why they might be going to that high ground here for the Devil Dukes. Might just be a little bit too much, but PDK pops the grab on Flux there, finds one of Brent, and then boulders GLD to death there. This is a good start for them. This really puts the Devil Dukes at a major disadvantage, but Sammy able to find a kill there. Will kind of even out for a moment, but Honey Bunny does go a little bit too close to the sun there. Now Sammy doing the exact same thing, but knowing that this is probably just to get regrouped back with their team. The Decapitators now only have, they have 4.5 minutes. They really, all they have to do is get to the end of point 2 here, and they win this map.
Yeah, and they've got a couple of really good ults in their pocket to do that with. Combining a Kiriko ult with an overclock can be absolutely massive. They may not even need it. PDK already takes down 2 before the fight even happens.
Yeah, PDK on this Sigma here has been a menace so far. Look at this, single-handedly just holding the Devil Dukes here in their own spawn at the moment. And you can see that cart shadow in the background. They are already so far, they're already to this last little push here, less than 20 meters.
Definitely. PDK just is honestly holding up so much pressure that it's allowed them to push it almost uncontested the rest of the way here.
Dueling Kiriko ults come out. Pyro pops their overclock. They find one. They're looking for a second one. Now, the bomb from Sammy does not find anyone. They're not able to get remech there. Brent, though, does res GLD here. And these are the last 2 members for Devil Dukes. They're trying their best. GLD pops the overclock. Finds Smugs there. Brent out of the equation. So is GLD, and that might just do it. We do see Boss there, but they're not able to get back to that cart in time. And the Decapitators will even this series up at 1.
That was an absolutely dominant performance by the Decapitators. Just really good play all around individually and as a team. I was going to give PDK a shout out. Looks like he ended up getting play of the game anyways, but his Sigma play was absolutely gorgeous. He was putting in so much damage, able to hold his angles and use his utility to his best advantage. Just honestly, as a tank player myself, it was an absolute joy to watch. I will be watching it back and taking notes, but really solid play all around from the Decapitators on that map. Sorry, go for it.
No, all I was really gonna say was that first point was such a big point for the Decapitators on each side. That Pharah was really not contested the entire time. While they swapped off it on the second point each time, that Pharah on the first point just really seemed to give fits to the Devil Dukes. And they just really were never able to figure it out or wanting to make a swap to something that could probably counter it a lot easier. We did see GLD on the Sojourn, but they really were never able to do a lot to try to counter that pharmacy.
Yeah, and Sojourn is a decent Pharah counter for the most part. It is a little bit tough to hit with primary fire, but secondary fire turning into a hit scan definitely makes things a lot easier. It's tough though, because do you need more dedicated hit scan potential when Aura on the Pharah is just putting in a bunch of work? We saw Devil Dukes try to go over to a Diva to try to contest more of that damage incoming, which worked fairly well, or a little bit, it worked okay, but I think that Devil Dukes, if Decapitators decides to continue running Pharah on these maps, are going to have to change something about their comp or their play style to try to counter it.
Yeah, I mean, the Devil Dukes now have this next map pick. They're going to try to pick something that plays into how they want to play. We do know what the map is. We will be going to Dorado here, so the Devil Dukes picking this map for a reason. Every team does pick a map for a reason. They never try to play into another team's strength right here. So, Beth, what do you think the Devil Dukes are trying to play into here going to Dorado?
It's kind of hard to say. So Pharah isn't normally as much of a meta pick on this map. Maybe that's what they were kind of going for. But you'd think if they were just trying to hard counter a Pharah, they would go for something with a lot of open sight lines on the first point, like Junker Town or something like that. So kind of hard to say what they are going for. We have seen that Devil Dukes are willing to run a wide variety of different tank comps. We saw them roll out on a Doomfist, a Roadhog. I believe in the first map they were maybe even playing some Orisa or something. I don't quite remember from the end of the game. But maybe they're trying to just look for something that can help counter or give Decapitators a slightly different look. Maybe play to the style that they were playing on Oasis and try to pull out another map win.
I believe on the first map we saw the Devil Dukes actually still running that Roadhog that we saw him play the majority of Eichenwald there. It was the Decapitators who are on that Orisa, and it seemed like it didn't really work out for them from what we saw. So I'm not surprised we didn't see Orisa on Eichenwald, but Eichenwald is really not that good of an Orisa map in my opinion at the moment.
Yeah, definitely not. Honestly, it's tough because Orisa I feel like is currently a pretty niche pick. Again, my takes are gold level at best, but Orisa is a good counter to both Hog and Doomfist, who are pretty dominant in the meta. But other than that, pretty good at holding space, pretty good at putting in damage, but there are other tanks that do both of those things better. So kind of hard to say if they're going to be looking to continue or force Decapitators into something they're less comfortable on, or if they're just choosing a map that they've scrimmed the most recently that they feel the most comfortable on. One thing that we do sometimes see on Dorado was with that high ground control and things is sometimes we do get to see some fun hit scan play coming out, which as you probably know is one of my favorite things to watch in Overwatch. I just think it's a lot of fun to watch people dueling it out. So would be interesting to see if either of these teams decide to run something like a Widow or an Ashe.
Yeah, and honestly, I feel like this first point kind of does lean in that a little bit, and maybe the second point to an extent leans into a Widow and an Ashe pick. I wouldn't be surprised to see either of them come out on those points, but I feel like at the moment that we won't necessarily see those picks. I would love to see it. I feel like a player popping off on those characters is one of the best things you can watch. But I think right now, grand finals, you don't necessarily want to be making, those kind of outlandish or maybe niche picks in a way. But this is a big map right now, in my opinion. Map 3, the map right before we go to halftime here, and whoever wins this map will be the team that is in that driver's seat after coming back from halftime here. Just what do you think necessarily both these teams need to do here? I mean, we saw on Eichenwald, it was just the Decapitators finding a character, and it was the pharmacy combo that the Devil Dukes just necessarily just necessarily never had a chance to counter or never really tried to counter, and it just never really worked out for them. What do you want to see these teams do on this map, though?
Yeah, for Devil Dukes in particular, I want to see them setting the tempo. Decapitators really had a lot of control of the tempo of the game there. They were taking fights when they wanted to take them, which for them was they wanted to take them slowly and drawn out to allow them to get as much damage in as possible and things like that. What Devil Dukes need to do is not allow Decapitators to set the pace of the game. They want to either take fights as early as they want or force Decapitators to take fights earlier than they want, and really just try to dictate the tempo. So what that tempo looks like kind of just depends on what the teams decide to run. But I think if Devil Dukes are able to regain that sort of control that we saw them have when we were watching the end of First Point, that they should have no problem on this map. If you're Decapitators at this point, you kind of just want to keep doing what you're doing. I feel like they're doing a lot of things very, very well right now. So don't have any specific advice for them anyways.
I mean, I wish we would have been able to see in that first map to try to figure out what the Devil Dukes necessarily, were able to do better than the Decapitators on that first point. Maybe it was just a tank map for them, and we saw that Orisa come out for the Decapitators very late there. I know the stream didn't see that. I know we saw that, but other than just one team fight, I don't necessarily think we had a lot of to go off of for that first map. Maybe it was just a little bit of a tank diff there on that first map. Going into this one, I think you're absolutely right. The pace of this game, or whoever dedicates the pace going into Dorado is going to probably be the team that comes out on top. You don't want to be taking every fight slow and having them dragged out in a way. You want to try to get them done fast, because that only allows you to push that cart further before there's another potential engage. And hell, a lot of times on Dorado, if you lose a team fight even before that cart makes that turn under the archway or sitting at that archway, a lot of teams would normally just let them have the first point and just try to hold them at the door to the start of the second point push.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like that first point of defense is so strong on Dorado that once you get past that, it can be kind of hard to come back. I feel like we see that a lot with escort points, though. Like, the first point's kind of tough, the second point is usually a little bit more of a steamroll, and the third point is tough again. So if the Devil Dukes on attack here are able to control the tempo of the first point, they can control the tempo much more easily through the second and have a good chance of pushing it pretty far.
Yeah, I mean, what you want to see out of these escort maps are good back and forth kind of maps right here. You want to see the team push as far as you can. And hell, I love seeing escort maps go to overtime with, a team having a very, very small amount of time. Hell, both teams having a minute is probably my favorite kind of overtime to see in Overwatch, because it really does bring out a type of tempo and type of just desperate play from each team, one to try to push it as further than the other team, or as far as they possibly can. But as we finally load in here to Dorado, it looks like the Decapitators here picking sides will pick defense first. That's normally the side I would say you should pick first if you're picking sides.
It kind of depends on what you're going for, though. I mean, if you want to just really keep control of the tempo and the pace of the game, and you have good faith in your attack, you can always go for that first. But all of that for which to say, the Decapitators are rolling out on pretty much the exact same comp we saw them roll out on last time. Pyro on the Sojourn and Aura on the Ashe, looking really strong. PDK Sigma's absolutely popping off. I totally understand why they want to keep him on that. On the side of the Devil Dukes, they've got the classic Kiriko Lucio support combo, which offers a lot of speed, utility, and damage, as well as keeping GLD on the Sojourn that they were putting in a lot of work on last map.
Yeah, and right now it does just seem like the Devil Dukes are going to allow, the Decapitators are going to allow the Devil Dukes here just to push this cart up a little bit. Not really going to expect a fall down from that high ground until, around that arch. But Aura able to find GLD out here early. I don't think that will force a fallback here from the Devil Dukes, but BTD falling there might just do it. However, some of the members of the Devil Dukes are a little bit too far to fall back. Brent down, Sammy able to hit that rebreather there to get a lot of their health back, but now it's just a chase there trying to get rid of Sammy, but they do have that Kiriko there to keep him alive.
Yeah, that's a rough fight if you're a Devil Dukes fan. They were able to get into the position that they wanted, but that really nice headshot by Aura just set the Decapitators off, allowing them to take firm control of this first fight without even having to contest cart.
Yeah, now the Devil Dukes continue to push this cart up a little bit, but the Decapitators still holding on to this high ground hold here. firmly at the moment, but the Devil Dukes now do have a little bit of the advantage. However, it does seem Aura able to find the first kill here again onto GLD. Now they're looking for another one right now. Pyro finds Honey, but a BTD out of the equation as well. But Aura's the next one to fall. However, it might just be a consolation prize at this moment as Brent falls. Smugs actually falls as well. Devil Dukes, even in a losing fight, still able to pick up some kills here. Sammy finally taken out there by PDK, but Smugs able to get that res there from Cry.
Definitely. Decapitators are doing a great job of holding this. They'll keep maintaining their high grounds, getting their poke damage in like the way that they want to do on this comp. Decaps are coming up on 3 big ultimates here with Overclock, Bob, and Lift, whereas Devil Dukes have the Kiriko ult of their own to answer back. Not as many or as strong of an ultimate, but definitely can put in a lot of work and a lot of damage with that.
Yeah, Devil Dukes already through that archway there. Now here comes the overclock from Pyro. Finds GLD here to start. They're looking for another one. Desperately trying to find an Aura. Does find BDD. No DPS now left for the Devil Dukes. However, the Decapitators kind of letting them push here. Smugs, though, it would take care of Brent. Already 3 members of the Devil Dukes down here. The Suzu has come out there from Honey Bunny to keep Sammy alive there. And Sammy able to fall back. They do have their whole hog. However, they are getting peppered here by Pyro, but they are able to fall back now. Actually, they're in a dangerous spot. However, it does seem like the rest of their team will be able to regroup with them.
Yeah, Devil Dukes are in a really tough spot here. They didn't have to use any ults last fight, so they still have 2 in the bank, whereas Decapitators, I guess they're coming back up on 3. But Devil Dukes have just been looking a little bit lost. I don't know whether it's because Decapitators are getting such clean picks and having such good target focus, but it just looks like the Decapitators don't have a clear sort of fight plan in mind when they're walking in, and their target focus has been a little all over the place.
Here comes the Kasuni rush from the Devil Dukes. Pyro does take out Honey Bunny, but Sammy finds PDK. The whole hog is revving up now for Sammy, trying to force back a lot of members of the Capitals here. PDK, though, able to get res. GLD is able to find Aura. They're already so close to that point. Now here comes the ground on flux from PDK. Smugs taking care of Sammy there, and that's a huge pick for the Decapitators. Smugs picks up Brent as well, supporting their team in 2 ways, make it 3 ways. 3 kills for Smugs, providing those uppies for their team as PDK able to boulder GLD there to death to end that team fight.
Yeah, Smugs definitely putting in a lot of damage and a lot of work, giving Decaps the picks that they needed, but really have to give a big shout out to Cry. It was a very risky res to try to get PDK up, but by being able to pull that off, Decapitators were able to get the point presence they needed to maintain this fight, and there are only 20 seconds left for the Devil Dukes to use 2 ultimates to try to take this.
Yeah, but they now know that the Decapitators have no res as Aura gets res there by Cry. They do pop that beat here early as they're trying to find an early pick-off here. Pyro does have that overclock ready to go. They pop it now. They are looking for heads. They're looking for anyone. Almost able to get Boss there. And they get hooked in, but they are able to take out Sammy. Aura able to punch BTD to death. Now GLD pops their own overclock, but nothing is going their way as Smugs continues to pick up kill after kill here. Aura will end it off here for the Devil Dukes push, and what a great defense here by the Decapitators.
The Decapitators are just looking so clean right now. We've seen them play very coordinated Overwatch. They're cycling their ults well. You can tell that they have just very good communication and good target focus all around. So very excellent job by them. Decapitators have a tough road, or excuse me, Devil Dukes have a tough road ahead of them here. Is it impossible to defend Dorado with the enemy team having pushed it, or with you only having pushed it 82 meters? It's not impossible, but it's difficult. I feel like they have a pretty tall order ahead of them, but if we see them play like they can play, and we know that they can based on previous gameplay that we've watched, I see no reason why they wouldn't be able to. They just really need to kind of take a deep breath, calm down, focus on how to work as a team and how to really just like work together to get the wins that they need.
Yeah. Speaking of the picks they're coming out with right now, Sammy coming out here on the Winston. First time we're seeing Winston come out here in these grand finals. And it's a little bit of an interesting comp in my opinion. No Lucio for the Devil Dukes at this moment, but honestly with the tank line and the DPS line they're going with right now, the Ana probably fits in better with their picks at the moment. But what do you think of the Devil Dukes right now and their comp lineup?
I can see what they're going for. I think that running a little bit more of a dive comp against the maybe slightly more vulnerable line of the Decapitators without as much sort of motion. As I say that, Aura switches over to an Echo, which is going to make things tough. But they're in a fairly vulnerable position. They won't really have as much support as if they had something that was playing back with them, depending on what the positioning goes like.
Yeah, I don't know if has shown themselves yet, but they're gonna make a move here eventually. You're not gonna pick the Winston and not die, but right now it looks like they're gonna go after PDK there. Sam on their own though does have some support. I believe it's Honey Bunny who probably goes to join them over there now, but they now fall back with their team. Boss getting incredibly low. The healing nade has to come out there from Brent to try to keep a lot of their team alive as the Decapitators try to take this fight to the high ground. Aura able to find Brent out here early, and this might be a snowballing effect right now, but Boss almost able to get Cry there. Cry doesn't actually fall as Sammy's able to take him out. This is kind of a nice regaining of some momentum here for the Decapitators, but that's all out the window as Honey Bunny falls right there. So now it's all up to Brent. Boss out of the equation as well. GLD, not a lot of health left, and they fall to Aura as well.
Aura's Echo's looking so clean here, able to take out both of the supports of the Devil Dukes for the first 2 picks of the fight. And now Devil Dukes are going to have to scramble just to get a touch.
Yeah, it might be 2 team fights and done here. PDK pops the flux here, but look at their team finding 2 kills right there before PDK finds the 3rd. Now they're just looking to clean up. Boss out. It's all up to GLD, but 5v1 is not a favorable fight for them, and the Decapitators will go into halftime up in the series 2-1.
Decapitators are just looking so good right now. We've seen strong individual play and strong team play across the board from them. Just absolutely joyful to watch. For the Devil Dukes, they're struggling a little bit against this. Decapitators are playing a very clean game, and they just haven't been able to find an answer for it. I think that it's to the Devil Dukes' advantage that we're going to a 10-minute halftime here. It'll give them time to sort of regroup and settle down because they can do this. They made their way through the championship bracket undefeated, or the upper bracket undefeated, just like the Decapitators did. They deserve to be here just as much as they do, and I think as long as they're able to put things together and really work on playing as a team, there's no reason why they wouldn't be able to continue staying in the fight here.
Yeah, but like you said, this 10-minute halftime here is going to be a blessing for the Devil Dukes, and hell, it might even be better for the Decapitators right now. They really have figured out something that the Devil Dukes are struggling with, and they might now try to talk about applying more pressure onto what it is the Devil Dukes are struggling with at the moment.
Definitely. If you're the Decapitators here, you're feeling really good having Aura on the aerial characters. We saw them put in a lot of work on Pharah on Eichenwald, and then we saw them absolutely massacre the other team as Echo on Dorado. So definitely a lot of aerial pressure coming in from there. And with Cry as a very, very strong Mercy Welcome back, everyone, to this Transcendence Tier Season 9 Grand Finals Championship match between the Decapitators and the Devil Dukes. Coming back from halftime, the Decapitators are currently up 2-1, but there is still a lot of Overwatch to play, and it is still anyone's game. As in the final match, we do go to best of 7 or first to 4. Dex, how are you feeling going into the second half of this match?
I mean, going into the second half of this match, basically all we've seen so far is just domination from the Decapitators because of some technical difficulties. We did not see the only really bright spot here for the Devil Dukes on that first map of Oasis, where they did not really seem to give the Decapitators, from what me and you kind of saw, any really ground to get anything going on those maps. But we do go to a push map now, which is going to be a little interesting to see here, as it does look like we're going to be going to Coliseo. And again, this is another map that the Devil Dukes are picking here. This is a map they desperately need right now, because going down to game or series point, championship point actually, after 4 maps is what I imagine they do not want to have happening.
Definitely not. If you're the Devil Dukes here, you've used the halftime to reset and really kind of just bring your team back together. Like I mentioned before the half, they are still a very good team. There's still a lot of Overwatch to play, and they can definitely pull it out here. That said, going to push map next is pretty tough if you're a Devil Dukes player or a Devil Dukes fan, simply because we've seen the Decapitators do such a good job of maintaining their momentum, maintaining fight pressure and map pressure, and really just using tempo to their advantage. The Devil Dukes are going to look to try to stop Decapitators from doing that super well, but they do have a little bit of an uphill climb if things continue like we saw in the first half of the game.
Yeah, and honestly, going into this map right here, I saw it last week when the Decapitators played Guangzhou Gangsters, that they would make a couple like off meta picks here, and a lot of the times it was Bastion that came out for them, and it worked out for them each time. They picked it twice. It worked out for them 2 times, 100% on that pick there. And we're seeing them tease it here right now with Pyro. And I honestly like when they do this, because it's something that the other team does not expect, especially after the Decapitators have won these last 2 maps. I would imagine the Devil Dukes would not expect it. But as I talk about the excitement of seeing that, Pyro says no.
Sojourn is just such a strong pick right now, but I agree. If teams are used to playing into and practicing against the same things, throwing in an off-meta pick can really set them on their back foot. But it looks like both teams are kind of just dancing around each other at this point, as the Decapitators decide to go inside as the Devil Dukes stay outside.
Yeah, look at this. Decapitators actually falling back, kind of respecting the space here, but Pyro's able to find Boss here early. Sammy kind of getting actually stuck between 2 or half the team on one side and half the team on the other side of the Decapitators here. And look at that Aura. Pyro take out 2 members of the Devil Dukes. Brent able to find Pyro though, but Aura's dynamite there, able to take care of GLD. Now Brent trying to run away with their life, but Smugs providing their team with the uppies there as they continue to push the spot now.
Dex, I'm pretty sure you get $5 every time you say that from Yeti, so keep it rolling. Smug's definitely showing why he is one of the all-star supports for this team. Just putting in a lot of work there on the Kiriko, both in utility, healing, and in damage. Looks like we are coming to another fight. Devil Dukes have swapped over to a Winston here. I
mean, it worked out for them very slightly on Dorado there, but Sammy falls here early. Once that bubble really goes away, Winston is a huge target, and you kind of see it there. Brent's out of the equation as well, so is GLD, and now we're just looking at the Decapitators just trying to finish off the rest of the Devil Duke. Smugs able to find a Honey Buddy there as they continue now to push the spot.
It's so tough for the Devil Dukes to try to have good decisive fights into the Decapitators at this point, just because the Decapitators are getting first and early picks so often. Decaps are coming up on a couple of really strong ultimates. We've seen PDK absolutely farming lifts, and he's planning on using it right now.
He's looking for it, but GLD able to find Pyro might be a huge pick for them right now. Aura's also out of the equation as well, as GLD has started to turn on them. They are in a great position to just rain in some damage and try to find those headshots with the railgun there. But we do see, I believe that was Smugs, TP out there. Sammy's able to find Cry. Now they are going after PDK. They make sure to get that health pack right there, so they did not have it. And we're just seeing PDK slowly backwards jump to that side of the map as GLD able to find Smugs here. And now the Devil Dukes, for the first time in what seems like a long time, finally getting some momentum.
Definitely. Devil Dukes played that really well, and really have to hand it to GLD there. He's showing why he deserved to be one of the all-star DPS and the only all-star on the Devil Dukes team. Just absolutely putting in a bunch of work there, getting the picks where they needed them, and doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, Smug's able to find GLD there. That might put a lot of pressure back on the Devil Dukes now. No Soldrin, as you said, GLD was the one member of the Devil Dukes who is that All-Star, so already out of their All-Star. They do have all 5 ultimates ready, the Devil Dukes do, but they are allowing the Decapitators here to try, or to push this card back up a little bit, but now Sammy jumping in, might have to use their Primal Rage here, but we do see the Kasuni Rush come out here from Honey Buddy, but Sammy out of the equation early in this one, or able to take him out there with a headshot, but the Devil Dukes want to stay in this fight for the moment, but it's not going to be a fight that are going to be winning here, especially with Brent out of the picture as well, and the Decapitators here, just trying to force back the Devil Dukes a little bit.
Yeah, that back-to-back pick on a Winston and a Lucio, both of whom still have ults, is definitely tough for the Devil Dukes. Couple of really nice picks from Aura there, able to get Decapitators the pressure they need as they approach first checkpoint.
Honey Buddy out of this one early. That's not who you wanted to see fall up here, the Devil Dukes. But the Primal Rage coming out from Sammy now, just going to try to throw some hands here, but Aura able to take care of Boss. Brent out as well as Cry, able to win that Lucille do there with the boop. Sammy out of the equation as well as Cry continues to pick up kill after kill here. All the supports in this series have, at least for the Decapitators, have been more pharmacists than pharmacists than pharmacists, in my opinion. I messed that up big time.
I mean, they've been pharmacists and pharmacists, right? Cry, we definitely saw her popping off on Mercy, getting a couple of kills, definitely showing that she can put in a lot of work as Lucio too, proving why she was the Discord tier MVP last season.
Yeah, but right now the Decapitators already got that first point cap in their way. The butt scratch out of the equation as well. We do see Brent pop their beat here, but it only goes to them and Sammy. Now Aura does get taken out by Boss here. That's a good pick for the Devil Dukes here, but Smugs comes right back, providing their team with those uppies right now. Finds GLD, the all-star for the Devil Dukes, out right now, but we do see the Decapitators here get some space. Cry out as well. Smugs having to teleport away. PDK though able to find Boss there. That does keep the Decapitators in this fight here, only for a brief moment, however, but Smugs finds a headshot. So does Aura on Sammy. Honey Bunny comes right back and finds Pyro, but it's a losing fight now for the Devil Dukes as Aura able to take out her Honey Bunny, and now the bot back in control of the Decaps.
Decapitators showed really good patience during that fight. They were down a few people, and instead of pushing it in and being like, oh, just die on cart, just do it, whatever, they decided to play back. They played a war of attrition. They knew that they had more sustain, and they were able to hold it out and get some more push.
Yeah, GLD popping this overclock right now. The Decapitators are respecting it right now. Not going to try to poke out and get headshot by them, but GLD does find Cry. Aura comes right back to find Brent. No Lucio for either team at the moment. PDK somehow takes care of themselves here. GLD and Sammy now picking up kill after kill. Bob does come out for the Decapitators, does kind of stall that card out for a moment as GLD is taking care of Pyro there, showing why they are an all-star. 3 of the 5 kills going to GLD there, and now the Devil Dukes looking to try to get this barrier pushed up to this first point to try to tie it all up.
That was a really good decisive fight from the Devil Dukes. They did end up using a couple of really strong ultimates there, only having the pulse bomb on here. 4 minutes left as we're going in, and Devil Dukes are finally getting some progress on this card.
PDK though able to boulder someone there. I believe it was GLD. GLD low. Now here comes the flux from PDK. It does catch Sammy, and Sammy out of this equation. No tank now for the Devil Dukes at the moment. This is looking bad already early for them, but if they're able to find a kill here, it might just go in their favor. However, as I say that, Boss falls. So does Honey Buddy, PDK, and almost the entirety of the Decapitators here, just cleaning up this team fight, as it will be a team kill basically, as the Decapitators retake control of the bot with just over 3.5 minutes left to go.
Yeah, push maps are a game of wide swings, though. Just because the Devil Dukes haven't had much success yet doesn't mean that they won't. They honestly aren't that far behind. They're, maybe 20, 30 meters behind the Decapitators at this point. Devil Dukes are switching over to a Rhine May composition with a Moira. Just very brawly, very kind of stock standard, but an easy comp to stay grouped up on and really get your target focus together if that's what you're looking on focusing on.
Beat comes out here from Cry on the Decapitators. It does find 4 members of it, and now we see Cry go a little bit of on the aggression here, wanting to find some members. The stick comes out there from Pryo, doesn't find a kill with it, but PDK able to take care of Sammy right after that. Brent gets incredibly low, but Cry is the one who's falling. It's Honey Bunny able to take him out on that Moira. Pryo finds Brent right back. Honey Bunny out of the equation as well. No support left for the Devil Dukes. GLD also out of it, as well as Boss is just running to try to stay alive at this moment, but the Decapitators now will continue to push this barrier.
Yeah, picks were being traded back and forth there, but it's tough when the Devil Dukes are down their tank basically right off the bat. Reinhardt is not the strongest tank in the current meta, does have still a lot of sustainability and maybe giving them a different look, but just doesn't have as much utility or damage output as some of the other tanks. They're really going to have to work on a coordinated attack if they want to get good value out of that.
Yeah, right now here we see PDK, another flux from them. It only seemed like a fight ago we saw them use it, but they already get one there. Sammy very low, but Sammy finds 2 kills. Those are huge for the Devil Dukes now. Now they need to try to clean up this team fight here and retake control of the bot. They do that right now, but that bot is very, very far pushed ahead. And it will, honestly, it'll get probably back to about the bot's starting point before we see another team fight.
Definitely. Devil Dukes played that very, very well. They've tried to forced Decapitators into playing into their space, which is what you want to do on a Reinhardt comp. And Sammy is coming up on a Shatter without a lot of things that can potentially contest it.
Honey Bunny popping their Coalescence here, even though we might not have seen it. They did pop there. It looks like a lot of the members of the Decapitators did respect it, as Pyro, though, the only member of the Decapitators, will find a kill there on the Devil Dukes. Now the Shatter comes out from Sammy. Pyro, though, picks up a pulse bump kill onto Brent. GLD takes care of Pyro, but Aura pops the overclock there, able to find Honey Bunny, but Sammy able to find them right back after that. And now the Devil Dukes get control of the bot again, but it's basically 2v5 as the Decapitators here have the closer spawn to this bot at the moment, and the Devil Dukes falling back as they want to regroup.
Yeah, Devil Dukes, I think, are doing a good job here, just regrouping until they have a full 5 fight. They do have the May freeze up, which is a pretty tough ultimate to play into if you're decaps. You do have the Bell that can potentially negate that, or PDK could eat it. But with the freeze being the only one of the few CC things in the game that can completely stop a player anymore, definitely could prove to be a big fight-changing ultimate for them here.
Brent and GLD do have those ultimates ready to go. PDK, again, another flux. It seems like one fight, and that's all they need to get their flux right back. The Blizzard comes out from GLD as well, but I don't think it found anyone in it. It's a trade going each way. Either team does not have a Lucio at the moment, and now it's a very, very scrappy fight. But now we see the Decapitators. They do not have any supports, but PDK has been carrying so far this match, and actually this entire series, as they find Boss there. Honey Bunny continues to pick up kills here. GLD finds Aura, and now the Devil Dukes starting to push this bot again. Less than a half a minute left to go now. This is really it for the Devil Dukes. They cannot lose another team fight here.
Yeah, Devil Dukes do have an uphill climb here, but it looks like whatever they're doing against the decaps is working. Whether it's because decaps just aren't used to running into this sort of comp or what, it's hard to say. That said, like you said, 6 seconds left. It's final fight, and it's do or die time here for the Devil Dukes.
Yeah, the Decapitators are taking good use of that upper ground there, contesting the bot there a little bit, but the Devil Dukes have to find a team kill here, in my opinion, because this bot's gonna stop here as they do, reach that first point. The Transcendence does come out from Honey Bunny, and the Decapitators, again, respecting it, fall back, do not want to lose anyone to that one, but Honey Bunny out of the equation now. This could be exactly what the Decapitators were looking for. Boss does have their pulse bomb ready to go here. They do throw it. I don't believe they find a stick. Aura takes care of Brent. No healing left now for the Devil Dukes. PDK finds another flux there. Finds GLD. Pyro finds Sammy. Boss the only one left, but Aura takes care of them. And the Decapitators, 1 map away from completing the perfect season and 1 map away from being crowned champions.
Yeah, do or die time now if you're the Devil Dukes. You've got one map. You can't give a single map up at this point. But that said, Devil Dukes, I think if they had a little bit more time and had found their groove a little bit earlier, could have had a good chance of capping this point. Running an unconventional comp in the Reinhardt May sort of comp, we don't really see that much in Overwatch 2, it feels like. They were able to give the Decapitators a little bit of a struggle there towards the end. Decapitators just ended up having an advantage on time and space and momentum and things like that, but if Devil Dukes come out swinging like they finished out this map, we could still have a good series ahead of us.
Yeah, like you said, those off picks from the Devil Dukes there really did help them out, but it just seemed like the Decapitators, towards the end, they were allowing them to get, the push of the car a little bit. They were playing very, very safe, knowing that the Devil Dukes had to use a lot of ultimates there just to get to that first little stopping point for that bot. We saw the Coalescence come out, and then after that, they really didn't have another ultimate. They had the Pulse Bomb ready to go once, a team fight broke out, but without finding any kills with that Pulse Bomb, it was basically all downhill from there for the Devil Dukes. The Decapitators, though, finding success early in every map we've seen so far has been their bread and butter. They have just pretty much out of the gate every map not allowed the Devil Dukes to really have any sort of control or momentum in any of the maps.
Yeah, but speaking of control, we are going to control next. It's Devil Dukes pick, and it looks like we are going to Ilios. Ilios is kind of an interesting pick for the Devil Dukes. Maybe they're looking to run a little bit more of the brawly comp, making Decapitators not be able to focus as much on that Pharah. But that said, the Well map is still a pretty strong Pharah Echo sort of aerial map, so it really just kind of boils down to which of the control points come up first.
And you have to remember that first map was a control point as well, and the Devil Dukes seem to really be in control of that one. While we didn't get to see it, well, me and you saw pretty much the last minute of Oasis here. This is a map type that the Devil Dukes have won on before, and they're desperately hoping that this is the map that kind of jumpstarts them into trying to reverse sweep the Decapitators right now.
Definitely. Like we said earlier, it's do or die times if you're the Devil Dukes. They look like they're putting it together. I think that they've got a good chance here. It's going to be a fun match of Overwatch to watch no matter what. If Decapitators pull it out here, they will be the Season 9 Transcendence tier champions, which will be the first time a Potato Org team has won a championship in any tier. Fighting Potatoes are the longest running team in Tranquility, having been around since Season 1. So in theory, the I guess Starch Org is the longest running organization in Tranquility history. So for them to be able to pull out their first championship here would be massive for them.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, they've been in Trank since the beginning. The fact they have not won a championship yet is actually kind of surprising me, considering it seems like they've had teams in a lot of tiers of Trank right now. But this team right here seems to be that team that is probably the closest to winning it. And not only are they one map away from winning it, but perfect record in the regular season, not dropping game, 8-0 so far throughout the playoffs, have not dropped the game. I believe they've played 3 or 4 games in the playoffs. Yeah, they've played 4 matches in the playoffs so far. So at the moment, they're sitting 12-0 on the season, just in maps right now. And if they want to be champions, 13-0, a perfect season, is very hard to do, and they are so close to it.
Yeah, and honestly, though, if there's any team that's going to be able to beat them, it would be the Devil Dukes. They've had a very strong season themselves, maybe not as pristine as the Decapitators, but also coming from a really storied org with Marsupial Org. Lots of different championships for them, lots of strong, successful teams. So don't count them out just yet. We do have a lot of Overwatch still left to play.
Yeah, and here we go into what could be the last map here, but if the Devil Dukes have anything to say about it, this will not be that map.
Definitely. Devil Dukes are running out on a Doomfist here, which is going to be great for disruption, especially into the more stable sort of front line of PK.
Yeah, as you see, Sammy here trying to find a character to punch off the map. They're not able to yet, but like you said, this disruption that they're getting from Sammy right now has kind of forced the Decapitators to fall back a little bit, as we do see Pyro come here onto the point to contest it right now. And now the Decapitators get back on point, contesting it right now, but Devil Dukes looking to try to cap the point here first.
Yeah, definitely. Both teams are just playing very kind of scrambly and scrappy, but we see a trade come out on both Kirikos.
Yeah, PDK out of the equation as well. GLD finds Cry, and this is a great start for the Devil Dukes. Aura does find GLD there, but again, now that's not a big problem for them, though, as basically the Devil Dukes already won this team fight. They were trying to take care of Pyro there, but Pyro able to blink back and regroup with their team. GLD should be able to get back into this fight here soon as well.
And we see PDK going from the Sigma over onto the Orisa. Orisa is a pretty good theoretical counter for Doomfist. You got the Fortify and the Javelin, which can definitely help with their disrupt. But it doesn't matter when Bossman takes down Pyro right out the gate.
And the Pulse Bomb comes out on a PDK. Doesn't kill them just yet, but now we see GLD take care of them. Cry does find Boss. Sammy out of it as well, as Aura picks them up. Now the Decapitators here looking to get something of a footing back in this map at the moment, but the Devil Dukes gonna try to hold on to this point for as long as they possibly can, as some of their teammates are gonna try to get back to this point now. But it does seem like, I almost saw the Decapitators that were gonna take it. Aura is able to take care of Brent on the point. GLD pops the overclock here. Sammy finds Cry, but Aura pops their own overclock, finds one, finds the second one there. Now they're going after Sammy. They're able to take care of Sammy as well. 3 kills with that overclock from Aura and the point flip for the Decapitators.
Yeah, Devil Dukes were able to get up to 54% on that point, which is absolutely massive for them, but absolutely fantastic overclock by Aura to take out 3 members of the Devil Dukes and get them the point. We see PDK immediately switching off the Orisa onto the Junker Queen. Very interesting pick. I don't think I've seen much Junker Queen being played at this level at all. It will be interesting to see what they decide to do with it here.
Kitsune Rush comes out from the Decapitators, but it is only a very small Kitsune Rush. The ultimate comes out there from Sammy, does not find anyone. Actually, they're almost down themselves, but the beat does come out from Brent to keep them up in this one now. Devil Dukes trying to retake this point right now. Shuzu comes out from Honey Bunny there, just trying to support their team there from the point right now. Sammy going after Pyro now, so close but so far away from death as they try to punch them into the wall, but not able to find them there. Boss trying to win this one, but Smugs providing those team with their uppies again as Pyro finds Boss as well. Everything going the Decapitators' way at the moment, but Brent able to find Pyro. PDK, though, finds Honey Bunny, and everything, again, like I said, starting to go Decapitators' way as they will now tick over into the lead.
Yep, just about tied it up. It looks like Decapitators are coming up on that, or they have the Junker Queen ult, not a whole lot else in the pocket. Devil Dukes are switching off that Doomfist. They're going over to a Roadhog, thinking that that will probably counter what Decapitators are running a little bit better. Very much more of a pick comp, whereas Decapitators are looking to play a little bit more of a rush. Boss does have their Pulse Bomb up, though, which could be a huge difference maker if they get a stick on the right person.
Yeah, Devil Dukes need to win this team fight here because essentially we're almost in final fight territory if they lose this one at the moment. Here comes the ultimate from PDK, catches a lot. Sammy, Brent out of it as well. Honey Bunny does find Pyro, but that's basically all the Devil Dukes are getting in this team fight as it's a team wipe for the Decapitators here.
Yeah, that was an amazing Junker Queen ult. Absolutely purpled the entirety of the Devil Dukes team, allowing for a lot of easy picks. Devil Dukes may not even get a contest here as we go into 98% on the clock.
And you're right, they don't. Smog's able to find Brent there. Sammy was also there as well, but I feel like they got stuck on a wall and just not able to get back there. Now, the Decapitators, 1 point away from being your Season 9 Transcendence Cheer champions here.
Yeah, Devil Dukes came out with something the Decapitators weren't expecting, and they were running it well, so Decapitators made some very kind of strange and off-meta picks that we weren't expecting to see, and obviously the Devil Dukes weren't either, which put them right back on their back foot. Devil Dukes did look very clean that first point, though. If they're able to continue to replicate what they were doing at the beginning of that first point, they have a chance to hold it here. But here on Lighthouse, we are going to what could potentially be the last point in the Transcendence Tier Season 9 Championships.
Yeah, we see the Symmetra come out here for the Decapitators, which is going to be to teleport their team up here just to get them closer to this fight before the Devil Dukes, but then we see them swap back over to the Tracer. So not a surprise here, but Aura coming out on the Echo. We've known how much the Devil Dukes have struggled with just containing any of those Sky-based characters.
Definitely. Aura definitely going to put in a lot of Sky pressure, a lot of map pressure here onto the Devil Dukes and put in a lot of damage. We do see that the Devil Dukes are taking advantage, or trying to play around that Echo by immediately going to point and trying to maintain point presence where you get a lot of aerial coverage, but it doesn't matter because PDK has already taken out Honey Bunny.
PDK on this Sigma has been just deadly. Aura takes care of GLD here, and the Decapitators looking to try to cap point first. They do get Pyro, but that's basically all you can say they got there as Sammy falls right back to PDK right after that, and the Decapitators controlling point first here.
Yeah, Devil Dukes did a really good job playing that. I feel like that is exactly how they should play into that comp, really kind of bunkery, stay on point, avoid the Echo sightlines. But Decapitators were able to get some very, very key picks, allowing them to only have the Devil Dukes get 12% up as we go into second fight here.
Yeah, and as we see the Devil Dukes try to come back into this one, they're going to try to, again, play around this Echo that the Decapitators have. Stay in areas where it's really hard for GLD to, Aura to rain in a lot of damage. But GLD and Brennell coming back on their own kind of mirroring on that Echo Mercy combo. But Smug's able to find Honey Bunny first. Aura finds Brennan. Everything starting to go the Decapitators' way yet again. Aura, PDK, Smugs picking up kills here for their team. 1 kill away from the team kill, but Boss able to run away with their life.
Yeah, Decapitators only about 50% of the point gain away from being Season 9 champions here. Devil Dukes did switch over to an Echo of their own. They're looking for a little bit of an aerial dogfight. Oh, sorry. I think the feed dropped out for a second. Looking for a little bit of an aerial dogfight here.
Yeah, Devil Dukes need to have something go their way right now. Brent already a little bit. GLD finds Aura there. That's a huge pick for them. But Aura able to get res right back up. Cry, though, does pay the price for resing their teammate there. However, the Decapitators here trying to hold on to this one. Kasuni Rush comes out from Cry. PDK carrying their team on their back right now. Finds Sammy. Sammy, though, does get res there by Brent. Pyro finds Honey Bunny. No Kariko left for the Devil Dukes right now as Aura actually duplicates into a Kariko here for their team. Does pop their own Kasuni Rush right there, but it's just the Decapitators right now. They are trying to end this series here and now.
Very, very smart res by Cry. They knew that their Echo counterpart had ult up, able to get the res off and able to get that duplication, which caused them to have a lot of pressure there.
It seemed like the Decapitators knew where Boss was going to be going there. Brent out of this one early. That's bad for the Devil Dukes. It gets even worse with Sammy out of it. And overtime has ticked down. And the Decapitators, you said yourself, Beth, the Starch team never winning its championship before in Trank. It took them 9 seasons, but after 9 seasons, the Decapitators sitting atop the Transcendence tier here in Season 9.
The Decapitators proving that they deserve to be here this game too. Just absolutely wonderful play from top to bottom. There wasn't a single weak link on the team that we saw. Excellent coordination, excellent individual game. Definitely can't say enough. They played so well and they were so much fun to watch.
Yeah, like it just seemed like the Decapitators, especially after that first map of Oasis, truly figured out what the Devil Dukes were, how the Devil Dukes were playing, and figured out what they just struggled with. And it was honestly always that aerial character, whether it was the pharmacy combo or that echo pharmacy combo that we saw there on Lighthouse. It just seemed like everything kind of just went downhill once they got an airborne unit.
Definitely. Devil Dukes put up a good showing. They were a very strong team, but in the end, Decapitators just were able to get that coordination and put it together. So props to them for sure. But with that said, Dexatron, who was your player of the match tonight?
I have to give it to PDK, honestly. Like, I feel like PDK was lighting up the kill feed and doing so much for their team on almost every map that we fully saw. It just seemed like, especially on that Sigma, they were just dominant, and it didn't seem like the Devil Dukes really had a response to the pressure that PDK was able to apply while playing Sigma.
Definitely, yeah. Putting in a lot of work there. For my pick, I'm going to go with Cry. Main supports don't get a lot of recognition, so I think the fact that we kept saying her name both in the kill feed and calling out some really massive reses that she has, like, honestly just put a lot of very, very good plays in and really helped lead the Decapitators to victory.
Yeah, honestly, you talked about Cry there. The support duo of Cry and Smugs there just did so much for their team. Smugs providing those uppies, Cry's providing those res, which are essentially just uppies in themselves. They did so great for their team. Sorry, they did so great.
I think we're setting a record for how many times somebody has said uppies in a 2-hour stretch.
No, I definitely said that last week more. But that support line has just been solid for the Decapitators here in these last 2 series that I've been able to cast for them. And honestly, without those 2 supports there, I feel like the Decapitators, even with PDK and their DPS line able to pop off, I just don't think if you have any 2 other support duos in there, the Decapitators necessarily are as dominant as they were. Those 2, Cry and wow, I forgot their name. Yeah, Smugs just did so much for their team and were essentially the rock for their team.
Definitely. Well, thank you everyone for joining us tonight, and congratulations again to your Season 9 Transcendence Tier Championships Decapitators. I have been BethCon2 on Analyst. We have Dexatron on Play-by-Play. Our producer tonight has been Laggy Sun, and we've had a whole host of observers. One just left the chat, so I'm not sure who they were, but we have Hippie, Unfeatured, and Nick on observers as well. So thank you. Bowsy, excuse me, was the other support or observer who was in there. But regardless, thank you all for joining us tonight. We still have a couple of games left to play in this season, with the Discord tier semifinals match occurring tomorrow night, and then the Discord and Harmony tier championships occurring next week. So with that said, I hope everybody has a great night, and we will see you around soon.